Hello and welcome to this video. Today we'll be solving this rational equation. So the first step of a rational equation is to get the denominators to be the same. So we can see here that we have two like denominators, but one is not the same. So we need to figure out how we can get the v to be equal to v squared minus v. So first, I'm going to see if this factors out to anything. And it can. V times v minus 1, because both terms had the variable v in it. And we can see that to get this to equal v squared minus v, we need to multiply it by v minus 1. So we'll do that for the numerator and the denominator. Now we can get rid of the denominator. It's not actually gone, but that's just the way rational equations work. So now we're going to write everything in the numerator and a separate equation. So 7 times v minus 1 equals v minus 7 plus v squared minus 3v minus 70. Now we're going to distribute. So the v is going to be multiplied by 7, and the negative 1 is going to be multiplied by 7. So that'll be 7v minus 7, and the other side is still going to be the same. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to want to add up all the like terms. Now there's no like terms on this side of the equation, so that's just going to be the same. And we can see here that there's only one v squared. And there's nothing with a higher exponent, so we're just going to write that first. And there's two terms with the variable v in it, so they're like terms. And v minus 3v is going to be equal to negative 2v. And then we have a negative 7 and a negative 70. So when you add those two together, that's going to equal negative 77. Now we're going to want to get the equation to be equal to 0. So we're going to subtract by 7v and add 7 on both sides of the equation. So this will be 0 because these two cancel out, equals v squared minus 9v minus 70. Now there's two ways we can go about solving for v, because this is now a quadratic equation. So first we can see if anything will add up to negative 9 and multiply to equal negative 70. Now you may not know this, but 14 times 5 actually equals 70 when you add it together for, well, we'll say a negative 14. Plus 5 equals negative 9. So we know that a negative 14 and a 5 are going to fulfill all the requirements. So it may take you some time to figure that out, because that's not a commonly known, like off the top of your head, math expression. So now that we know that this can be factored out to v minus 14 times v plus 5 equals 0. And you can even check by foiling just to make sure that this does equal this. So we can do that right now just in case. So this times this, and this times this is v squared plus 5v. And then we do the same for the other term. So that's negative 14v minus 70. And you know that that is going to be equal to the original expression. So now that we know that, we're going to equal both expressions to 0 so we can solve for v. So we know that v minus 14 equals 0 and v plus 5 equals 0. Now we're just going to add the 14 on both sides. So we know that v equals 14. And then subtract the 5 on both sides. So v equals -5. Now that we have what we think v equals, we need to check to make sure that there's not any extraneous solutions. Basically, to make sure there's not any holes or anything weird going on with the graph that you can't find out basically from just solving for v. So we can see that we're going to make sure that there's not any, that v doesn't equal 0, 7, or 1. And we're also going to factor this out just to make sure. So we know that that's going to be that, because -10 times 7 is -70, and -10 plus 7 is -3. So as you can see, the answer that we got is not anything that's in the original equation. So we know that none of these are extraneous solutions. Now, if let's say you didn't know that the answer, or you didn't know that the that -70 could be that -14 times 5 equals 70, because I know that I didn't know that off the top of my head. You could do the quadratic formula, which is x equals -b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a, which is a long equation. Which is why if you could do this method, it would probably be easier. But just in case. So we know that for v squared minus 9v minus 70, a equals 1, b equals -9, and c equals -70. So I usually like to solve for this part first. So I can go ahead and do that. So b is -9, so -9 squared minus 4 times 1 times -70. So we know that -9 squared is 81, and -4 times 1 is still -4. So -4 times -70 is a positive 280. You add those two together, that'll be 361. Now plugging that into the main equation, v is going to be equal to a -9 plus or minus square root of 361 divided by 2 times 1. So we can go ahead and write the -9 as a positive 9, and then plus or minus the square root. 361 is, the square root of 361 is 19, and then 2 times 1 is 2. Now we're just gonna write the plus or minus as two separate expressions. 9 minus 19, 2, and then just solve for v. So 9 plus 19 is 28 divided by 2, and then 9 minus 19 is -10 divided by 2. Finish that out, it's 14 and -5. So you can see that no matter what method you did, you would have gotten the same thing. And there's still no extraneous solutions. And that is the answer. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Mr. Brown, hi. Please give me an A. Hee hee. Just kidding. But like an A would be nice. I hope you're doing well. I haven't seen you in a while. I've just been chilling at home, living the quarantine life with my siblings and my parents. But I wish you're doing well. And please give me an A. Thank you and see you later.